Hi, welcome to the Arthur Chibondo Show. This is the first episode. In this episode, we are talking about the stock market. So today, I've brought you a very, very interesting guest. This person is an investor, he's a businessman, and most importantly, he's an Airtel money agent.
Hi, my name is Patrick Ndimbwa.
Okay, Patrick, you're welcome to my podcast. So today, as I have said, we're talking about the stock market. Over the past few months, I've been making videos about several investment scam schemes where people were lured into investing into those platforms and eventually lost their money. So after I reviewed those platforms, people requested for a video about the stock market. So I was like, what better way of making a video about the stock market other than inviting the person who introduced me to the stock market? Mr. Patrick Ndimbwa, you are very, very welcome to this podcast. I have questions here that I have prepared for you, and I think you'll be the man best placed to answer them. Yeah. So first of all, what is the stock market? How can you describe the stock market?
So the stock market is a market or a platform where several financial instruments, the government securities such as treasury bills, treasury bonds, and treasury notes are traded, including the shares.
All right.
So in this discussion, I want us to focus on the shares as well as the bonds.
So can you be willing to elaborate what shares are, or maybe the bonds are, or something like that, so that someone who is a newbie, like a total beginner, can be able to understand what we're talking about in this discussion?
Yeah, I understand it's difficult to understand some of the jargons that are used in the market.
Yeah.
But still, we cannot avoid all of them. So we
Okay.
have to learn about them. So shares
Learn from you.
shares are
Yeah.
a financial instrument
Yeah.
which represent the ownership that one has in a particular company.
Okay.
While bonds or a bond is a debt instrument. So this is where you lend or loan money to a particular organization or a government agency, and you agree on the repayment date. And when it's due, that is at maturity, you get back your principal, that is the initial amount of money that you invested, as well as the interest rate. So in Malawi, the interest rates range from 8 to 19%
for bonds.
For bonds, yes.
All right. So that's per year, or what?
Yeah, that's annual.
All right.
If you invest 100,000, then if it is at 19%, you get 119,000 at the end of the year.
All right. That really looks cool. I think better than just keeping your money over the year.
Yeah.
I understand, when you are interested in investing, you should be able to assess what are the benefits and what are the risks of your investment decisions, right? So we're talking about the stock market. Are you telling me that it is 100% risk-free? No, obviously no.
So.
Like most investments, they attach some risk to it, right? So what are the risks associated with investing on the stock market? And if there are risks, what are the benefits? Because the reason why we're investing is we are maybe going after the benefits that are there, right? Yeah, so what are the benefits and what are the risks of investing, so that we can be able to make the decisions based on the knowledge of what are we going to lose or what are we going to gain?
Okay. So let's start with the benefits.
Yeah.
So we'll start with shares.
Yeah.
So for shares, its benefits include cash dividends, the capital gains. I will explain what these are.
Okay.
And the most important thing is it creates more free time. So you as a student, you can just get your money, you give it to Airtel or you give it to TNM, and then they'll be doing business for you. If it succeeds, it means you're also succeeding.
Yeah.
And if it fails, you're also failing.
Okay.
But while you're doing your education, you'll be able to make some money, that is if everything is going on well. Yeah. So you'll be able to make some money while you're also doing your studies. Yeah.
All right. So you promised to clarify. But okay, before you go for the list, maybe you should clarify what are the benefits.
So on the benefits, I talked about the most important things.
If I can remember, you talked about cash dividends, capital gains, and you actually talked about free time. I think you have already explained about the free time that one is going to get as a student or maybe as a busy person at work or something like that.
Yeah. Now let's talk about the cash dividends.
Yeah, cash dividends.
So the dividend is the payment of money the company makes to its shareholders.
Okay.
So let's take the TNM has made some profit. Let's take 30 billion, and then the management can decide how much they're going to reinvest, and what remains, that profit is going to be shared amongst the shareholders depending on how much you own.
So for me to receive a dividend, I have to expect that the company that I've invested in has made some profits.
Yes.
What happens if they make losses?
You don't get anything.
You don't get no dividend.
Yeah. Sometimes if it makes some profit, but if it is low, you still don't get, because they have to reinvest to grow the business. So most of the times the dividends are paid annually. That is once a year,
I think
quarterly.
I was reading somewhere they say some companies they don't pay out dividends entirely.
Yes. So most of the times the small companies don't pay out, or the ones that are struggling financially, they want to build a stronger base. They want to build a big company first of all before they can start.
They can start paying out dividends.
Yeah.
All right. That's cool about the dividends. Yeah.
And now about the capital gains. So for one to understand capital gains, statistics are very important. So I'm going to give 3 examples or 3 cases so that you and your listeners can understand what capital gains are.
Okay, fine.
So Airtel Malawi Limited, that time it was limited. It was listed on the Malawi Stock Exchange on the 20th of February 2020. So now it means it became a public limited company, PLC, not just a limited line. So at the date of issue, each share was selling at 12.69.
Date of it, like the date was listed.
Yes.
On the
yeah, the date it was listed on the Malawi Stock Exchange.
All right.
Each share was selling at 12.69.
Yeah.
And imagine if at that time one had 350,000, which we get as the upkeep from the loans board.
Yeah. Thank you, the loans board.
Yeah.
And we need an increment because of the devaluation.
Okay. Yeah. So imagine someone had 350,000 in 2020.
Yeah.
And each share was selling at 12.69. Get your calculator and you find that that person bought 27,580 shares. That is in Airtel.
Okay. So did you do the math right away? Or maybe you solved it before coming?
I solved it.
Okay, fine. I thought you are a human calculator.
No, I'm not. So the 27,580 shares. That is, you're getting it by dividing 50,000 by
the share price.
12.69. Yeah, the share price then in 2020.
Yeah.
So it means this person had 27,580 shares.
Wow.
And now the current value of the current price of each Airtel share is 71.98.
Wow.
So if you do the math, imagine the person did not sell or buy more shares. It means he has about 1.9 million. Yeah.
Wow.
That is 27,580 shares times the 71.98. That is the current price at the moment. So it means the person has about 1.985.
So let it blowing my head up.
That is the money one has made in just 6 or 7 months.
By just giving the money out there.
Yes, while they are able to do other things.
Wow.
Another case, cool, the NBS. Just last year, I tried buying some shares in the NBS bank.
Yeah.
At one point, it was 22.78 each share. As I speak today, it is at 106. No, I last checked the prices. I think that was on Sunday. So it was 106.83.
Yeah.
So like each share.
So when you are talking about capital gains, you mean like the profit that you're going to get when you sell your shares.
Yes.
So those are the capital gains.
Yeah, like in the case of Airtel, the person invested 350,000.
He made 1.9 million.
And now has 1.985 million. You subtract, what you get is the capital gain. Of course, minus the
broker fees
that you'll be charged by the broker, as well as when you make some profit, the Malawi revenue.
So it
gets its VAT.
all right, fine. So that is very, very worrying.
But I wanted us to also look at other two cases.
Okay.
The NBS, I was saying at one point it was 22.78.
Yeah.
And now, well, I last checked it on Sunday, it was 106.8.
From what?
From 22.
From 22 last year?
Just last year.
Wow.
About 17 months.
That scares me. No, that's
So if again the person had 350,000,
yeah.
with the 22.78, they would have been able to buy more than 15,000 shares. 15,000 shares in NBS Bank.
Okay, do you know that I'm going to get more than 250 next year if the loans go the upkeep? Yeah, I could take all the upkeep and invest it right away. Because this thing that you're telling me right now is very, very promising.
But the past performance is not a guarantee that it will also perform like that. That's why there are risks that we're going to talk about.
Okay, fine. You're scaring me.
Yeah. So
maybe I should just
the
wait for the
15,000 shares that one bought using the 350,000 when the price was at 22.78.
Yeah.
Today the price is 106. It means if you multiply 106 by over 15,000 shares that they have, you get about 1.6 million. So this person just last year with 350,000 has now 1.6 million. It means the profit is about 1.2 or 1.3 million. Wow. But of course, you also have to subtract the charges by the brokers as well as the VAT.
But I think still you're gonna be left with a considerable amount of money even after all those deductions.
Yeah.
Okay, fine, man.
Now let's talk about the FCB, the First Capital Bank.
Okay.
Last year it was 80 watt, and now it is about 300 watt. That was on Sunday. It was 300 watt. And if one again had the same 350,000 watt with 80 at 80 watt, they would have been able to buy 4,375 shares. And if you multiply that by the current price, which is 300, you get about 1.3 million. So just last year it was 80 watt in 2022. Now it's 300 watt. So yeah, I can say the stock market is a good vehicle for manufacturing.
Manufacturing, are you the money magician right away? Okay, honestly, Patrick, what you have said is very, very encouraging, and I'm convinced because if I can find 350,000 right now, I would be willing to invest all that into the Malawi stock market. But I really want to know what are the risks, man, because I know just like me, someone else out there is also interested because they're like, okay, that is a very lucrative deal because I can just have money. Okay, sometimes we put like Tumacoin in a piggy bank so that like maybe we should be using that money in future. We call them savings. Sometimes we put money in a savings account and generate really small interest. But what you're talking about, that is out of this world, man. I didn't know those things existed. So I'm convinced investing on the stock market is such a big deal, right? Now tell me, man, what are the risks? Because I want to know before diving into this thing. Like, what are the risks that I have to be prepared for, man?
So in any business dealings, there are risks associated.
But you said we don't have risks in the stock market.
We have.
We have them.
There are several risks. So I said, I don't know if I said, but I think I said.
Maybe you said at one point because I don't really forget.
So I think I talked about if you buy shares,
yeah,
it means you're part of the owners of that company. You're owning part of that company. So
you literally an owner of Airtel. And
if you have shares, yes, it means you're.
So owning. Right now I'm talking to the owner of a company, guys.
No, I don't own all of it.
You're owning a part, but you're still an owner.
It's about 0.00015% of it. I can even less than that.
But do you want to know how much I own?
You own them.
Yeah, of course, of course. But that's the salt.
That's what I mean. Okay, so let's talk about the risks. There are several risks associated with the business, any business that you be involved
All
in.
right.
Expect some
Yeah,
risk.
I think that's
So
common
if
knowledge.
you own shares in a particular company, it means you are an owner of that company.
Yeah.
You own part of it.
Mhm.
So it means if it fails, you're also failing.
Mhm.
If it does well, you're also doing well.
You're also doing well. Okay,
So
fine.
in the case where it has been declared bankrupt by the courts, it means you've lost everything. It will be ordered to sell all its assets, whether it has vehicles, it has buildings, or whatever it has. They will sell all those things first of all, and the first person to get the money that has been realized from that is not going to be you as an investor. It's going to be the creditors, people who gave the company some money, who loaned it some money. So the beneficiaries will be the banks, first of all, those that gave that company money. So they're going to pay off, first of all, the debts. And most of the times when it has been declared bankrupt, it doesn't even manage all the assets that it has, doesn't cater for all the creditors. So most of the times, the investor, when the company has been declared bankrupt, goes home there.
The investor is left crying.
Yes.
I remember, like in the US, there's a story about the FTX trading.
Yeah, there was also another
bank
bank in Silicon Valley. Yeah, that was declared bankrupt.
Yeah, so in situations like those, I think that's when you're gonna go cry. I heard about people losing all their life savings, because what happens with investing on the stock market, it's like you're putting, instead of keeping your savings in a bank, you're putting all your savings in the stock market, because unlike the banks, the stock market sometimes really rewards with good interest rates, right?
Yeah, if it does well.
If it
depends on the activity on the market.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. But if it does well, man, it's gonna be rewarding. Yeah. But if it doesn't,
let's talk about the bonds.
Okay, fine. But maybe you shouldn't talk about the bonds, because
that's what we're going to focus in this discussion. The shares as well as the bonds.
Okay, so you can just go for a summary about the bonds.
Yeah. So
we have a lot of questions.
Okay. I first said a bond is a debt instrument.
Yeah.
You give an agency or a certain company some money. They do their own project. Unlike shares, in this case, if you give them money, it doesn't mean you are owning that project. It's theirs. But what you've just given them your money, and then you expect your principal back as well as the interest rate that you are.
So it's more like you are now becoming a bank.
Yeah. Somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the benefits now of this is most of the times is guaranteed that you get back your money.
Either way.
Yes.
Why not?
Even if that project is unsuccessful, you still have to get back your money, because that company now, which means will be declared bankrupt and to have to sell all its assets. And the first person to receive will be you, the one who gave them some money, not the shareholders of that particular. And the risks now, since most of the time is at a fixed interest, it's an advantage because it's guaranteed you get back your money. But it's a disadvantage in cases like in Malawi, where we face a lot of inflation, devaluation.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So let's take it was at 19%, and now as we talk, the inflation rate in Malawi is above 20%. So it means in the end you're not getting anything.
You're not getting nothing. Yeah, that makes sense. You're laughing at my English.
No, it's okay.
Okay, fine. So, like, man, as I said, I'm interested. You are interested. Someone else who is listening to this is interested, man. So we need to know what is required to start, right? Like, how can we start? Because we all want to be financially stable, and I know investing, even at a tender age like this, because
so for you to get started, to start taking part in the stock market, to start buying or selling shares, you have to identify a broker. In Malawi, we have there are three things you have to do. You have to identify a broker, you have to open an account with the broker, and you have to fund your account. And lastly, you have now to instruct them the shares that you want.
I think that is really insightful because we are now aware the process that we're going to get through, right? Like you said that firstly, we need to choose a broker, and then open an account with the broker, and then we need to have the amount that we want to deposit.
You fund your account.
You fund the account, and then command them.
No, you instruct them.
Okay,
You say, I want to buy shares in this particular account.
All right.
And then they'll do that.
All right.
So now, how many brokers in Malawi do you have?
I know 3. I know 3. I think there's Malawi Stock Brokers, Seda Capital, and Continental Capital Limited.
Yeah, so we have 3.
Yeah.
There were 4 at first. The other one, of course, failed. It collapsed. It was declared bankrupt. So we have Continental Capital Limited. We also have Seda Capital Limited, and we have Stock Brokers Malawi Limited. So these are the 3 brokers.
What did I say?
You said Malawi Stock Brokers. Yeah. Stock Brokers Malawi, Seda, and then Continental Capital Limited. Wow. So there was also Alliance Capital Limited, but of course this one went bankrupt.
Yeah,
because of some of the mistakes that the management made.
All right. Now you're talking about a company, a stockbroker going bankrupt. Now that's scary.
No, that shouldn't worry you because you do not lose money if the stockbroker has failed.
Oh, wow.
But you lose money when the company that you invested in has collapsed.
Okay, so it's like, so what happens, bro? I've invested in.
So when you invest
in the stock market, I've invested in the stock market using Seda Capital or maybe Continental Capital Limited, and then I'm giving my money to them, like to their bank accounts.
Yes.
They go bankrupt. Their company fails.
But when you buy shares, they don't keep the money. The money goes to the bank, to the company that you want to invest in.
Okay.
So for you to buy shares, it means someone has to sell.
Oh,
so when you're buying, it means someone is selling. So that money actually goes to the person who is selling. So the person gets his money. He's charged by the broker, and sometimes also by.
Okay, so how reliable are these stockbrokers? Like, because you just talked about a company going bankrupt, how reliable are they, man? Like,
I think they're very reliable most of the time.
Are they regulated?
They are rigorous, like by the Reserve Bank of Malawi. I don't know what was going on. I don't know who was sleeping on his job to allow this mess to happen. Yeah. Of course, some people who were taking part in the money market lost their money.
Let's not start pointing fingers.
I just I don't know who was responsible for
all right. Okay, bro, you've talked about what is required to start. How long does it take, like, to start making profits?
So there is no specific period of time that it can take for you to start making money.
All right.
Yeah. So I'll give you an example. I bought a few shares in Airtel Malawi Limited when it was first listed on the Malawi Stock Exchange. That was in February 2020. And that day, before it got officially listed, it was at 12.69. And at the end of the day, it was about 17.98, like 17.98 a month. So it made about 41.7% profit on that day. So there's no specific, and some companies which are listed, they can be listed like today, and it can take years for their share prices to increase. So
to increase significantly.
Yeah, so there's no specific period of time.
But I also think that a company can have a share price of maybe at 30 per share by the end of the day, and tomorrow morning it's at 50.
Yeah, all those happen. And
like
we're going to talk. No, don't encourage people to do that.
I'm not encouraging. I'm just like, okay. I'm not encouraging no one to do betting. Betting is evil. It's bad. It's not just evil. No one wins in betting. You can never beat that system. It is designed to scam you. It is designed to sack you. Okay, we're not talking about betting in this podcast.
Yeah, let's do.
Yeah.
So let's talk about why prices change. How does it happen for the share price maybe this morning to be at 12 and then at 3 p.m. for it to be at
I've been wondering, okay, like, do people just decide, okay, today I'm selling my shares at this price? Or
But I think it depends. It's affected by the investor sentiment. I'll explain. But before I explain that, so I have a question. Do you know why the prices of maize increase in December or November?
Increase in price of maize?
Yes.
And that should be related to demand and supply, no?
Yeah, the same thing affects the Malawi Stock Exchange.
So
the stock market.
If you're giving an example for maize and getting into the stock market, I think I would assume that if there's high demand for shares in a certain company, then the share price for that company is going to skyrocket.
Yes, that's what happens. But that's not the only one, because the demand and supply that affects the maize prices also affects the stock market. Only that in this case it's a little bit more intricate. It's more complicated, very complex to understand. So there are several things that affect the demand and supply. If, as you say, if there is a high demand in shares of a particular company,
all right.
Yes, most of the times the prices will go up.
All right.
Yes, and so now it's not only the demand and supply. There are things like the immigration, population growth, political and economic stability.
Okay, I also heard about a scenario whereby like Elon Musk just tweeted something about sometimes
that's what I want to talk about, the positive or negative news. So
positive or negative news.
Yeah, it also affects. So let's take you here that maybe the major shareholder in Airtel is sharing their shares. Most of the times, people the investor sentiment, the attitude of the investors will change.
Why are you selling your shares, bro?
Yeah, so those are the things.
Or maybe you have foreseen that something bad is going to happen. Okay, obviously I'm going to sell my shares too.
Yeah, so those are the things that affect. Like I heard from a certain guy, I respect him. I think he has more information, more knowledge about the stock market. So he told me about why the share price of TNM went down and went up within a short period of time. So it made a loss. So that was positive news. I mean, the negative news. So many investors left. Many people did not want to buy shares in that particular company, in TNM. And the share price kept going down up to 12, I think, if not 11, at some point. Yeah, but then they hired a new CEO.
And then we expect that a new CEO is going to change things.
The mindset of people, or the attitude of people, or the investors towards that company changed. So they were expecting maybe the CEO is going to bring some.
And the CEO being from Europe?
Yeah, so there are several things. People believe that he's more intelligent, he's more maybe
experienced.
More experienced.
I hate the word more intelligent than who. Okay.
I withdraw that.
Yeah, withdraw. Withdraw again.
I withdraw. So those are the things that the positive news, population growth, immigration, and several others.
Okay, fine. So like I've chosen a stockbroker. What's next from there, bro? Like I've chosen a stockbroker.
You've opened your account?
I want to go.
Put your money in that account?
No, like I have chosen a stockbroker. I want you to start from there. Like
how the process now of opening?
Yeah, the process of opening.
As a student,
it's not so complicated.
No, it's not. As a student, you do not need a lot of things. So there's just I think 4 things that they need from you as a student. Copies of your national and student IDs. That is,
I have them.
And student IDs.
They're in my phone.
They will also maybe ask for the identification or recommendation letter from your institution. So you're at curious, you go to the central registry. You
2,500 watch.
That's small.
Okay.
And also they will need your account statement or bank statement from your bank.
All right.
Yeah. So those are the 4 major things that they will need from a student.
Okay.
But from people who are working, there are several things like maybe the employment details. They may need their utility bills, like water or electricity, and then the national ID and several other things.
All right. I think the process of opening a brokerage account is not that complicated. Everyone can do it. I think when Patrick first introduced this to me, he said you just have to send an email. And you don't really have to wonder about how you're going to structure that email. It's just like, hi, I want to start investing. They attend to you. Their customer service is really genuine. It's really good. And I think...
And the other thing, why is they reply very fast?
I don't know.
Ladies.
Ladies. You and ladies. Okay, fine. There is another question here. What's the best time to buy?
Best time? There's no best time. Because some say when the price maybe is low, you have to buy so that you give it more chance of going up. But sometimes it happens. The price can be low and then it continues to go down.
All right.
There is this big investor. He's known as Benjamin Graham? I think he lost.
I know the name.
Yeah, I think he lost much of the money because he was buying cheap stock or cheap shares.
So we need to go for expensive shares.
No, there's no formula for that. When you have the money, just buy and start as early
as possible. I regret that I want to start at 20. I wish I started at 10.
There's also this other guy, Warren Buffett. He started investing when he was very young, and he regrets starting at that age. I think he started at 9.
Regrets starting at 9. He's stupid. All right, fine. Bro, I have to thank you. I think this podcast has been very informative, and this could not be possible if you had not accepted to come to speak with me. Yeah,
and I charge so much money.
I charge so much money. Okay, brother.
I don't know if you're going to pay the minimum.
I have money. I have everything.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, sure, brother.
Well, I just wanted to talk about something that we did not discuss throughout this. And this is how to identify the best company. Again, I'm not at that level yet where I can just tell someone to say, go for this company, go to Airtel, maybe choose this or that. But I think you have to do some few assignments. You have to go through.
Yeah, you need to do your hard work.
Yeah, you have to go through the financial statements, the annual reports, the stock reports. Or you can also follow those companies online to see
how they're performing.
Yeah, what are they doing, and what are the next? When are they launching a new product? How important is that product going to be to the society? So they have. We have to go through the financial statements of those companies. I know it's difficult or it's hard to understand the jargon that is used in those, but learning how to read them, to understand them, has country's benefits.
Yeah, that's right. Brother, I have to say, I'm really proud to have you as my friend. And yeah, my mentor. You are so young to be my mentor. I know you have the data, you have the information. I think you are a very valuable asset. I think, guys, everyone needs to have a friend like Patrick. Patrick is a genius.
And let me also tell your viewers that you have to follow this guy.
Yeah, and this guy's like this video.
Yeah, you have to follow him. Download, listen to his podcast. You have to watch his videos. He uploads some very important content.
Yeah, he says. Of course, if I said it myself, it would be like I'm posting, but
you're not. Okay.
All right. Yeah, I think this is the end.
Thank you very
much. The handshake should appear on camera.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
You're welcome. I'll invite you.
Pleasure talking to you.
I'll invite you to my podcast.
Are we going to be doing this every day?
Yeah, you'll get rich.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, brother. Bye. See you guys. See you.